Does Jalen Brunson want Donovan Mitchell on the New York Knicks? We're going to unpack that on today's video. You're watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Jalen Brunson is playing with Team USA this summer, and he was asked by the media, what does he think about the Donovan Mitchell rumors? What's been going on with those? And this is what he had to say, quote, "It's impossible not to see things. Rumors, and all the stuff that comes up on Twitter, and all that stuff every single day, it's always on TV. There's always possibilities when you hear about that stuff. Donovan is a good friend of mine for a while. We were in the same high school class. Our relationship goes back a long way. But I think right now, I'm more than happy with my guys, and I love my teammates." And I feel like Jalen Brunson said all the right things there. But these rumors, the Donovan Mitchell rumors, to the New York Knicks are never, ever, ever going to go away, it seems like. We've already seen Mitchell back in the New York area this summer, hanging out at Mets games. He's running in the Black Ops runs that Chris Brickley runs every single summer in New York City. We know he wants to be here, and we will find out truly if he wants to be a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers this summer when he is contract extension eligible. He has the ability to sign an extension this summer. The last day for him to do so is right before the season starts. And if he doesn't, he most likely will be an unrestricted free agent in the summer of 2025. So I want to ask this question before we dive deeper into Brunson and Mitchell and see if they could actually win a championship together, what the pros and cons would be of that duo. But I want to get you guys involved in the comments section early on in today's show. Do you want Donovan Mitchell on the New York Knicks? Type Y for yes, type N for no. That'll be the pinned comment on today's show. So when you get hit with that YouTube ad break, scroll on down and let me know. When you first talk about the idea of Mitchell and Brunson coming together as a backcourt potentially with the New York Knicks, there are obviously pros and cons to the situation. Pro number one, they would be an elite offense. They would be elite shot makers, and I can make the argument the best backcourt duo in the NBA. Both of these guys can be the head of the snake when it comes to an offense's attack. And we saw that with Brunson this year, averaging 24 points per game, a career high from him. Went from the second option in Dallas to the first option in New York. And we saw Donovan Mitchell have his best season yet in his NBA career with the Cleveland Cavaliers, getting up to 28 points per game. But he was able to maintain that elite efficiency that he's had in his early years in the NBA. 48.5% from the field and 38.5% from three. And most of those threes for Mitchell weren't just catch and shoot wide open opportunities. He would get a high screen and roll, put the ball on the deck one time, and raise up 3-4 feet beyond the three-point arc. He can create his own shot. Brunson, he does the same stuff. And his efficiency, one of the efficiency stats and rates, one of the best in the NBA at the point guard spot, almost 50% from the deck and 41.6% from downtown. But the stats and the just elite shot-making ability go so much deeper than just the raw stats. Let's take a look at some advanced stats for these two scoring guards. Donovan Mitchell shot 37.6% on catch-and-shoot threes last year. And he knocked down 39.2% of his pull-up threes. And that is a huge part of his shot diet and his shot portfolio. He is someone that creates looks for himself off the bounce. But he's not just a three-point shooter. He's not just a jump shooter. When he wants to get to the cup and he wants to finish around the rim, he does it at one of the best clips in this league. When he's 10 feet or less from the basket, he converts his field goals at a 61.5% rate. That is at the top of the top in this league. And Brunson, like Mitchell, he's a great shooter. Even a better three-point shooter, I would say, when it comes to the catch-and-shoot part of the game. Brunson knocks it down at a 47.6% clip and only 38%. I say only, but that's still a super, super high mark, and he is also really good from the free throw line down. We'll talk more about Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson in one quick second, but first, I need you all to get hooked up with our awesome t-shirts that we have here at Chat Sports. They are Knicks Real One style. Go to chatsports.com/Real Knicks. We've got our OG blue ones, but we're bringing some new swag into the fold. You can get the brand new black limited Real One Knicks Now t-shirts. You can get them at chatsports.com/Real Knicks. This link is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. A reason that I think both these guys would be a good backcourt duo is because they complement each other well. They could both play off the bounce, but they can also play off the catch. And in this New York Knicks offense, they really have a strong diet of catch and shoot opportunities, drive and kick opportunities. And when you look at this sort of scatter plot right here from Basketball Index, follow them on Twitter. They do great stuff. You see that the Knicks had one of the highest drive to assist rate percentages in the NBA. Actually, the highest in this league. What does Brunson like to do? Get downhill. What does Donovan Mitchell like to do? Get downhill. They were one of the top teams, not only in assists coming out of the drives, but just drives to the cup. So I can see it now. Brunson drives, he kicks. Donovan Mitchell drives, he kicks. I want to see Brunson play more off ball, and playing with a guy like Mitchell and this offense, that would be really, really intriguing in my opinion. But for the offense to be so good, I am worried about the defensive versatility. They are limited on that side of the court. I mean, let's just be honest. There are two 6'1", 6'2" guards that sometimes opposing teams in the playoffs like to pick on. We saw the Cavs try to pick on Jalen Brunson. We saw the Knicks picking on Donovan Mitchell. We saw the Miami Heat picking on Jalen Brunson. And I am worried about a small backcourt. I mean, the only team in the last 30 years to win an NBA title with two starting guards under 6'3" are the Detroit Pistons in 1990 with Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. It doesn't get done that often. Why? Because you have to have an elite defense to win an NBA championship. But then I look back at the stats from this past year, and I saw that the Cavs had the best defensive rating in the NBA last year with Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. And while Garland is not some Gary Payton on the defensive end, he's not a stopper, he is a little bit of a better defender than Jalen Brunson. But this stat shows me that the Knicks should at least be able to be competent on the defensive end with Brunson and Mitchell. I still question, though, in the NBA playoffs, can that defense get stops when it has to be? Speaking of the playoffs, can they win it all? If you have Brunson at the 1 and Donovan Mitchell at the 2, can they win it all? I would probably say no because of the defensive side of the ball, but that's why you have Tom Thibodeau as your head coach. That's why you have the defensive coordinator and the defensive genius of Tibbs as your head coach. So you can have Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell on the court, and you have a coach in Tibbs that is a specialist. He is like a Bill Belichick of the NBA on the defensive side of the court. He finds ways to put team defenses together and win ball games. And he's here to coach defense. And if he can't coach this team, if it ever happens, of Brunson and Mitchell being one of the top dogs, then maybe he's not the right guy. But if that trade happened, there would have to be roster upgrades because there's too many non-defenders on this team already. We know R.J. Barrett can defend when he wants to, but for the most part, he's a negative defender. Julius Randle also a negative defender. Yeah, Mitchell Robinson, who's a strong defender, but if you have Brunson and Mitchell, you need that small forward and that power forward to be an elite defender. Because when you're getting the offensive output that Donovan Mitchell does, like he's done in the last 4 years, he's going to be able to carry your offense. And Brunson can carry your offense. But it's on the defensive side of the court, you're going to need more help. What I like about Mitchell the most is he's gotten better, it seems like, every year in his NBA career, going from 25.9 points per game last year with Utah up to 28.3. And the three-point percentage goes up, and it becomes a bigger part of his game. Thing that's concerning for me, though, is how he is not able to sustain the same success he has in the regular season and carry that over into the postseason. The last 2 years in the playoffs, it has not been pretty for the Utah Jazz and Donovan Mitchell and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I know Knicks fans know all and well about that. 24.5 points per game, still really good. 6.5 dimes, really good. But the efficiency falls off a cliff for Mitchell in the playoffs compared to the regular season, down to 41% from the field and 24% from three. So I worry about the defense, and I worry about the fall off in production in the playoffs for Mitchell, but I'm hoping playing alongside a guy like Jalen Brunson and a defensive-minded head coach, they could reap the best rewards out of this duo. I want to ask you this question before we bounce on out of here. Can Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson win a championship together? You got Brunson as your point guard, Donovan Mitchell as your two guard. Can they win a chip? Type W if they think they can win it, or type L if you don't think they're able to get it done. As always, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you guys for rocking and rolling with New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. If you want to talk more Knicks basketball, hit me up on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_, or just click the link down in the comments and description of today's show.